If there's one thing I learned, my 29 years in prison, is that one wrong move, one small thing, could cost you your life. And this is especially true about the story I'm about to tell. And what made me think of it was, I've never forgotten it, but I was talking to my mother-in-law and a couple other people about it the other day. Plus, all that smoke we had in our house. Anything, could happen. But anyway, so I get this Celly out of the hole. He comes out of the hole. My other Celly went to the hole. He comes out, big guy, muscle-bound white dude. But I found out he couldn't fight that well. Just because you're big doesn't mean you can fight. But he was one of those type of people that like to control the cell, and I guess he was used to doing it because of his size. People was intimidated by him. Be honest, I was kind of concerned about him too. So we're in there, and it isn't long before I find out he's trying to control the cell. I'm nobody's house mouse. House mouse, that's Missouri prison slang for somebody who lets another person control the cell. Some people call them boys. They might as well be a boy. I guess that could be true to an extent, but basically they control how things are run in the cell, how things are set up and everything. And sometimes they even have the person doing their dishes and everything else, cleaning the cell. So I said, dude, this is both of our cells, and I was here first anyway. We got to compromise. That's what you do when you're Cellies. Everybody's got to give. But we get into it. And I had banged his head up against not on purpose, it just happened that way, against the top bunk. And that's why fighting in cells is dangerous. Anyway, I trip or something, but I fall down by the toilet. And the toilet's kind of got me hemmed up. And so he's getting the best of me. And I couldn't do anything, and finally he moved it in such a way that I kicked him right between the legs. And he goes back. I'm woozy. I'm thinking, man, I got to get up. I have to get up, before he. And I finally get up, and we go at it again. I start getting the best of him because he's in pain from that kick. I kicked him hard, and finally I stopped. I said, "You had enough?" And he doesn't say anything. And I said, "You had enough?" He doesn't say anything. And about the third time, I sat down on the bunk, my bunk, and I'm looking at him. I'm thinking, man, what the hell am I going to do, man? I don't want to end this guy, but yet he's in the cell with me. What am I going to do? I don't want to finish him off, So after a minute or so, I said, "Hey." He tells me where to go in uncertain terms, And finally, he gets up. He goes to the door. He's standing there. I stand up because when he got up, you ain't gonna catch me sitting down. I'm watching his ass. This is a big dude, man, and I came real close. It was, it was a close situation when I was down there on the ground there, the floor. And so finally he said, "Celly, we can't cell together." Well, that is obvious. That's a no-brainer. And he goes, "I reckon neither one of us is going to sleep tonight, are we? And I said, well, I probably ain't going to sleep. You can sleep. Yeah, I ain't sleeping. I said, look, dude, I could have finished you off there. And he doesn't say anything. Next day, neither of us really slept. He said, we're going to have to fill our room move pass, but we got to wait until we heal up. So let's just try to get along. In the meantime, we look for people to move in with. And he goes, since you was here first, I should be the one. That was the rule. Whoever was there first stays in the cell. I mean, that's just how people did it. And he goes, I'll look for somebody to sell with. He goes, I got a couple partners in here. And he goes, but we can't let them see us until we heal up. I know that. And I'm still thinking we're going to get caught. So he looks for people. We don't go to chow or nothing for a while. And he's looking for somebody. He finds somebody. And after we healed up, we go down there to the caseworkers. Actually supposed to be 4 people signed. I'm supposed to sign. He's supposed to sign to where he wants to move to. Where he's wanting to move to, that person in that cell is supposed to sign. And if he's got a Celly, that person's supposed to sign to move over with me. So we sign it and everything. Everybody signs it. And caseworker's asking us, well, you guys ain't getting along or something? He goes, no, man, I'm just wanting to move in with my partner. And she said, okay. So we get back to the cell. And my Celly goes, Celly, why didn't you? I said, why didn't I what? He goes, why didn't you finish me? He goes, at least, break some bones or something, make it where I ain't gonna, you didn't have to worry about me. I said, I really didn't want another charge on me, and he goes, man, this is prison, man. And he goes, of course, I was angry, but my intention was to take you out. I thought, man. He goes, man, this little piece of advice for the future, man. If you're in a situation like this again, he goes, do not give in. Finish it. And he goes, because the situation you was in was bad at first. And he goes, like I said, my intention was to finish you. He goes, you had me dead to rights too. He goes, I knew I was goner. It really surprised me when you stopped. And he says, that's dangerous doing that. And he goes, that's just a little piece of free advice. And I said, okay. After that, even though we wasn't friends, but we got along. We'd talk in the wing, and once in a while, canteen line and whatever. There was no more issues out of this, but it's one of those situations, and I've seen this several times, where I seen a guy accidentally delete another guy in the cell. I didn't see it, but it happened because it happened in the cell. It was him and his Celly fighting at night, and he accidentally deleted the Celly, and then he had a charge. The whole point of this video, people, is to tell you that each morning you wake up in prison, it could be your last. And this is an everyday thing. And that one there, even though I already knew that each morning you wake up, it could be your last. I already knew that. It did not really set in until that incident. Till I got into it with my Celly that time. That really hit home. And he told me too, he said, man, he goes, that makes you think. He goes, I got lucky. He goes, but so did you. He goes, you did what you had to get out of that situation. And that's the thing. You don't never know from one minute to the next in prison what situation you're going to be in. You got to be prepared at all times. You got to be prepared to delete somebody or be deleted. And I hate using that word, deleted, the YouTube thing, I guess I could use pine boxed. But anyway, I hope young people watch this and get something out of it, man. You do not want to mess up your lives and go to prison. Even if there was nothing like that happening in prison. Prison sucks. It's nothing to brag about. It's nothing to boast about. This sucks in every which way. Every way you can imagine. It is not a place to be. So stay out here and enjoy your freedom. I thank you for watching.